Today, we're going to do some individual sweet treats, some delectable little delicacies that you can pick up as finger desserts. The first one is homemade cannolis. So, a cannoli is a fried dough in a little cylinder shape with sweet cream inside. And that cream is made from ricotta cheese. There's two ways to do this though. The type of ricotta that's best for cannolis is called impastata cheese. Impastata, that's what this is. And you can see it's very thick. It almost looks like cream cheese. The moisture has been taken out of it. Now I buy this at our local Italian store. If you don't have an Italian store, specialty store nearby that sells that sort of thing, you can make your own. And what you do is you start out with a pound of whole milk ricotta cheese and you take cheesecloth, line it with a strainer, and you're going to put a bowl underneath it. You line it with cheesecloth in a little strainer and you're going to put it in a bowl and you're going to put that in the refrigerator. You need to keep it there, I would say about a day, 2 days is even better. What you're doing is you're getting all of the moisture out of it. And you can see that that's what actually comes out of it, which is the whey. I have a son that actually makes cheese with this. My son Ian, unbelievable. Ricotta cheese and he makes homemade mozzarella. I'm not that ambitious right now, but this is very easy and you can see how much liquid actually came out of it. So you can either use the ricotta cheese, which has been strained, or impastata. We're going to use the impastata today, and it's real simple. You're just going to put that in your mixer, a little bit of vanilla, powdered sugar. If it's lumpy, just make sure that you sift it. Chocolate chips. You want the mini chips. The mini chips will come outside your pastry bag a little better. They come in larger chips as well, but sometimes they get caught in the pastry bag, so you're better off using little ones. And I like using dark chocolate or semi-sweet. Okay, so we have our ingredients in the bowl. Always start off a little slow. You can see it kind of, you can put a towel over it. Okay, so once that's all been kind of mixed, then we're going to put our mixer on high. Cannoli cream has to be very, very well mixed and soft, totally blended. Once it's all mixed, we're going to lower our speed, and it looks like we're finished. So you're going to use your spatula. I want to know who invented this. We all tried looking it up and nobody knows who invented the rubber spatula. Now you're going to take your spatula and you're going to make sure you get all the cannoli cream out. And I've said this before, you have to really get to the bottom of a bowl like this because it tends to accumulate. It's a little deeper on the bottom and sometimes you have ingredients that accumulate there, like in this case maybe the powdered sugar. So you want to just kind of mix that up. We're going to use a pastry bag to pipe this into our cannoli shells. But if you don't have a pastry bag, I'll show you another little shortcut. Now, I like to use a quart container. Okay, so we fold it over just so we have something to stand our bag up in. Okay, we can put that aside. And you're going to squeeze the mix down all the way to the bottom where the hole is. With your cannoli cream, it works better if it's a little bit at room temperature. Once you take it out of the refrigerator, it's extremely cold. It's a little harder to work with. Once you mix it, it will get soft, but you might want to hold it for a little bit, the ricotta cheese, before you mix it. It makes it a lot easier to pipe. These cannoli shells, we didn't make them now, and I don't even recommend making them at home because you can get them at an Italian specialty store, or if you don't have one, you can also get them online. And they're really perfect, they're delicious, and it's one of those things that scare people away from this recipe. Making the shell is messy, you need a special piece of kitchen equipment, and you have to fry it, and it's really a pain in the neck. So I buy them this way and they're wonderful. So before we pipe in, let me just show you what to do if you don't have a pastry bag. You can take a plastic bag like this. You want to make sure it doesn't have the square bottom or it won't work. Some of them actually have an area that's square to hold product. That won't work for this. Okay, you just want to kind of cut the tip off like so. And then what we've done is we put our pastry cream inside there. Thing to remember with a pastry bag and using this as a pastry bag, you have to twist and push your product down to the bottom so it will come out nicely. Okay, so let's just do the first one. Twist, 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 and here we go. Now, put your pastry bag all the way in the middle so that we can fill the whole shell. We don't want a hollow section of the shell, so you want to make sure that the whole thing is filled. In this recipe, we've used mini chocolate chips. If you look at this cannoli, we have chopped maraschino cherries. Now, if you choose to use those, and I think it adds a nice flavor to it, you want to make sure that the cherries are really, really dry. If they're not, they're going to water down your cheese. So you can chop them finely and you can add them. I've also seen candied citron in cannolis, and they're good as well. So it's kind of up to you how you like it. So let's just see how this one came out, just to give you an idea. I want to prove to you that this works. Again, we're going to go in the middle, and you're going to fill that. Okay, and you can see how easy it is. So if you don't have a pastry bag, no worries, use a plastic bag. I'm going to fill the rest of these, and then I'm going to show you how to garnish them. So you see how simple that was? It's a really easy cream to make, and then it's just a question of filling the cannolis. Now, if you don't want to use a cannoli in this form, you can serve it as a dip. So you crunch up your cannoli shells like so, and you just put the cream in the middle. And people can actually use this as a dip and use the cannoli shell as a chip to dip right in there. A nice thing to serve at a party. The other thing I like about this is that you can leave it out for a period of time, and it can be made ahead and set up. This, on the other hand, you can't really fill the cannoli shells too far ahead of time because they do tend to get a little soggy if the filling sits too long. So I like to do these about an hour before I'm ready to serve them so the shell is nice and crisp. This recipe is really all about texture. You have the crisp cannoli shell and you have the creamy sweet filling. So it's such a nice combination of flavor and texture and crunch, makes for the perfect pastry. Let's put the powdered sugar on. I like using a strainer instead of a sifter because I just feel that I can control it a little more. When I use a sifter, it just seems like too much comes out at once. So we're just gonna, okay, so you want to garnish them with a little bit of powdered sugar on top right before you're ready to serve them. And there you go. Italian cannolis. Actually, their home is in Sicily. Sicily-born cannolis.